Hello, hello. Can anybody hear? Oop, I am echoey. There we go. Got to adjust. We are back. Here we go. Yep. This is me, Professor Chaos, here tonight. Welcome to the first inaugural stream, I guess you'll say. You know, welcome in. Let's see what we got here. While I get used to this. Bear with me, guys. I'm just getting going. All right. Well, I do have a print on deck for tonight. Let's see here. I'm just getting everything sorted out here. So you'll see here, I got my little studio. This is where I usually do my designing and my loading of my prints and stuff like that. I'll give Doc Lano a little bit more of a, you know, breakdown of how things go tomorrow. Let's see here. So what I do is I take my little project here. You'll notice the fun icon here, but I'll drag it in, drop it in, and we'll load it up into what I call a slicer. Well, everybody in the 3D printing world calls a slicer. This is the basic one that gets sent with a bamboo printer. Takes a moment here. Alrighty. So once this is up, you're going to see here I have a little bit of work done from last night. Watching Killa and Boot last night, I became inspired, and I wanted to make myself a little bit of a couple prints representing our few of our favorite people tonight. You may notice here we have a nice bearded, balding man here. I didn't have time to put his curly hair, but I managed to capture the beard very well in this model. I also have our favorite dim-witted contractor here. You can see he's got that little disappointed look because he doesn't get no work lately because everybody talks bad about him. And then here we have our little Miss Alien. We're going to do these guys not in an orange. We're going to do them in a different color here. I actually have, let's see, go over to my device here. This is the settings for my printer where you can see everything. This is my colors I have uploaded. And actually here, I just changed this. So we're going to change it here. I got to check the right type of plastic that I have. And we are going to do a custom color, y'all. We're going to give them a nice little brown shade, or brown shade, there we go, how we should say. All right, I'm going to set that up. There we go. Now we are doing 3 of them. And here what it's doing right now is that it's actually slicing my files. So it's taken it's taken these little images here, these little files, and it's slicing them into little tiny slices, like little flat slices like you're slicing deli meat. Now what it's going to do is it's going to take 38 minutes. It's going to take 3.8 meters of filament. And that filament is that's that plastic. It just looks like weed eater line. Like you load up a weed eater, then you know what 3D printer filament looks like. In fact, back in the early days, before they sold filament commercially, we actually used to buy weed eater filament from Ace Hardware and use it in our printers because it was the standard size and it was available. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually send this off. Now you'll notice in my camera, I actually have set up a nice little webcam here. This is the view directly from my printer. You can see my second printer on the side there. I actually have a few. This one on the side runs flexible filament, and I might get into that with Doc tomorrow. Yeah, yeah. And that's actually has multiple applications. But for this one, we are going to send this off. Now I can't adjust this camera here. I did try to put it on a nice little tripod so I can stabilize it here. And it's going to kick off printing here really soon. Now, if I go back up here, you'll notice it's shifted its screen here. It's actually showing that it's, oh, there we go. We got some action here. It's running. So this is a small little sample of something I'd like to start doing is just choosing a small print, something quick, something that might run, in the background and could have a little gap session. Maybe one of these times, maybe Killa may come up. Billy's in the chat. I see him there commenting. Thanks, Billy. I see Jem in there in the chat. Thanks, Jem. Good to see you. But yeah, you guys can ask questions. We can talk about non-drama stuff. We can have a drama-free stream with all the, the the drama from the inspiration to our prints tonight, we can keep that out of it, or we can just have a little, BS session like Killa we like to do. We're just two guys on the internet that like to talk smack. uh, but I just got home from work, had to shuffle off and get to ready for you guys. Kind of feel bad I don't have no like intro music or anything fancy or anything like that to give you guys like Killa does, but uh, sorry, I keep harping on because I watch him a lot. I watch him, I watch Boot, I watch a bunch of people. Used to watch GS, but not so much anymore. You know why? We went over that. But if we look here, we should go back to our print. We got some movement here. Now, this printer I have here, this one, it spoils me. It is like magic most of the time, Jim. This one here it does everything for you. What it's doing right now is it's loading up the color that I chose, that I have loaded up in my unit that sits above the printer. It's called an AMS. It's an automatic material switching system. Basically, it switches between the colors or materials that you have. Oh, there we go. We got Walrus manufacturer. This one's a Bamboo. This one's a Bamboo P1S. It's an older printer. The new ones are actually out now. The H2C is one of the newer models, and it's got a multiple print heads. It switches tool heads instead of switching the material in the heads to save on waste and time. Um, it also has like a laser engraver, I hear, which I'm wanting to save up money eventually to get one. But that's a couple grand that a hardworking dad has to save up. That I like to spoil my kids. So good luck with that for me. But this one here, like I said, this one spoils me. So this one will automatically level your bed, which is that surface down there you're seeing there that's kind of suspended. This one will level that bed, make sure that it's completely level, so it'll print perfect. It'll automatically adjust its speed, its flow rate, whereas the printer on the left, to the left side of that, you see that little line going down. That one I have to manually level. I have to set the temperature myself, and it's open, so it's not as contained. The printer doesn't have control over it. See what it did there is it loaded up the new color. It purged the old filament that was in there. I think it was a pearl. I was working with a pearl white. And now what it's doing, it's gonna bring up this bed here. Now this printer type is a different type than most people have. This one is not most people have. This is a printer that moves the bed up and down, whereas other types of printers will move the actual print head up and down. And that's that gray part you see there with the circle. That one will actually, on other types of printers, the one that you see on the other side, which I probably set up a stream or two maybe, that one will move the actual print head up and down, not the printing surface like this one does. Now, this whole section here is actually heated. So this bed that you see there is currently at 55 degrees Celsius. And that print head, the little head on the top, underneath that gray portion that lays out the plastic, is actually running at about 180, 190 degrees Celsius when it lays down this plastic. Now, what it's doing back there is it's actually utilizing a little spot on the back of the plate to clean the head of the nozzle, basically. It's cleaning off a little excess filament so that the print will lay down smooth. I see you guys going off in the chat. Thank you for your support here. Billy, I appreciate your support. You're one heck of a dad, man. You put up with a lot, man. Jim, thanks, man. There's a lot of 3D printing people out there that do content. I'm trying to think of something to make my staple in it, All right, so that printer is finished cleaning its nozzle. Now it's going to do this, where it's going to level on many little parts of the bed, many different places. It's going to make sure that this print surface that it's going to lay down the plastic on is entirely level. That nice little, I can't do that sound, I don't have my board prepped, but it's nice. Make sure that's nice and pretty. When it's ready, it's going to start laying it down here. Yes, and this machine spoils me, y'all. I had my wife, I begged her about 2 years ago to let me get this with part of our tax money. Oh man, it is fun. You'll notice I have a little article down there, that little white bag. That's a bag of desiccant. That's to keep the moisture in the unit under control. Now, we are in Arizona, so humidity is not really a thing, but in my office here with the door closed, me sitting here, it can get kind of humid. I'm not a big guy. You know, I haven't gone on the Ozempic either, so I have like a super high metabolism. My wife hates it, but I still sweat. I still generate heat like any normal guy. I don't have a beard either, but I lament that. But that's another tale for another time. This stream should last maybe another 30 minutes or so. I don't want to run too far into what Killa is going to do. I will be in the chat with Killa later, just making small talk, doing stuff like that. Have I tried to use AI to make 3D printing easier? I have, Mr. Phil. I've explored a little bit of AI. I'm afraid of it because the work that I do for supporting my family, I am a customer service agent currently, exploring other opportunities to move forward. Um, but AI is currently encroaching on really, really close to replacing me. Not that I don't have something else I could fall back on. I can go back to busting my body with construction like I did for 25 years before I did customer service. I prefer to stick in a little bit more of a comfortable a comfortable area of expertise or work as it were. But I will be exploring the use of AI to make my model generating easier. Instead of having to use what we call let's see, Tinkercad or like another program to do my models like Blender or stuff like that, I wanted to use AI. Quick update here. Looks like the printer is actually laying down its purge line there. So that first line it did, that was called a purge line. Now what it's doing now is it's going to lay down that first layer of filament. And I just want to turn around here and watch that. Just 1 second. Oh yeah, she's running like butter. So it's going to lay down that first layer for each of them. It's going to print these 3 models because we do have 3. It is going to print those 3 models for us sequentially. Now this view here, you'll notice it's like it's got a bunch of little like streams running out here, like our disappointed contractor, we'll call him, he's crying, he's sweating, he's got snot running out of his nose, which I'm sure is a daily occurrence. But this is supports. So when a model is printed, it does need a place to print. It needs something to print onto. It can't just print in midair. At least not this type of printer, but others can. It's surprising, you know. It does. It does, Charger. You'll be surprised. It's inspired by one of our few of our favorite people nowadays. Here's a bit cleaner of a version of what we're going to be seeing tonight once it comes off. And you'll see we have our sleepy. He looks like he might be sleeping in a recliner, maybe. We have one buddy who's over here. He's disappointed because he doesn't get any contracted work. And we got someone who I'm not quite sure. It's an enigma. But hey, at least they got a bow. Let us know. Bow to let us know. But let's see what we got here. Yes, well, Billy, this printer that I run is, like I said, it spoils me and it runs super fast. Now, one fun little thing I like about this printer is I can set speeds. I have a quiet mode, which runs at about 50% speed. It's about half as slow as this, half as fast. This is normal mode. So it's just going to print at about 200 millimeters per second, if I could put it in like quantifiable terms. It does look like a Funko. It does. I believe it's inspired by it, the model I took it from. But with the 3D printing community, creative license is everything to us. When another creator makes a model and spends their heart and soul into it and puts it up there for everybody, they're saying, hey, look at my work, enjoy it, print it for yourself, let others see it and see how it goes. Okay, yeah, just wanted to check that. Looks like the print is still going strong here. Now, it looks a little tall there. I'm still adjusting my camera angles, but it'll eventually will get a little bit better. Maybe I might even get a little closer up of the view so we can see it laying down the material a little cleaner. But like I say, with the 3D community, sharing models, sharing work is everything. We don't sell it for monetary gain for people. I don't sell my models that I reprint of other people's creation. I give them away. How much heat can a printer project take? That depends on the type of material you use, Walrus. So with 3D printing, what I'm using today is called PLA. It's basically, it's a plastic type that's actually not made from petroleum. It's made from corn. And the finished product, well, with PLA, it can take about maybe about up to about 80 or 90 degrees. Like you could sit in the car for maybe a little bit, but once it starts heating up, it's going to deform. With PETG, that can withstand a little more heat. It's food safe. It can go up to about maybe about 100, 120 degrees. You get up to other materials like ABS. ABS can withstand over 100 degrees. There's ASA, which can withstand outdoor UV and heat, so it can go over 150. And there's also other types of plastic that require what we call annealing, or if you're familiar with that term, that means is it has to be treated with heat after it's printed to actually achieve its maximum strength. And that once that's process done, which requires you to have your own oven to dedicate to the process, like usually it's a toaster oven in a garage. That way you can control the environment. You can actually have it so these parts can withstand um, automotive conditions and heat produced by an engine, that kind of a thing. What do you need me to make, Billy? An S? I need to make you S. Okay. Like inside, yes. Yes, Wallace. You can do. Sorry, I get tongue tied sometimes. Applications that are automotive in nature to withstand the heat and pressures of engines. You would use a specialized type of ASA with that, which would be carbon fiber. Carbon fiber it basically takes little pieces of cut up carbon fiber and incorporates it into the plastic. So when it melts, those carbon fibers will align and interlock and help improve the stability of that print. And that filament is expensive. It takes a long time to print, and it can be very, 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 very temperamental to actually get to stick. What you guys are seeing in the background there is, yeah, I do need 3D mods, you guys. That's right. Once I get more going, I get my community built up a little more. I start meeting some more people here that I trust, that I know that aren't gonna be a little duplicitous and call me a subversive. I will start reaching out people, making some mods, getting my community growing. I do have Venmo links and stuff I was going to drop for you guys in case you wanted to support the channel, but I'm going to hold off on that for tonight. We're just going to have some fun and enjoy this printing. Let's see. Let's check on our slicer here, and we're going to see what state this is at. Now, the slicer program will actually, for Bambu, will give us a status bar. So we are printing at 31%. We're at layer 32 of 180. We got maybe about 26 minutes, give or take, left of the print to go. Now, let's see what we got here. I can turn the light on and off on the printer there. You see flash, flash. That's just the basic light. It's not very bright. I do plan to upgrade that with some RGB. I'm a victim of RGB, as probably anybody with a computer is. You say, oh, I'm just going to make a nice matte black build for my PC. And then you end up, your RAM has lights, your fans have a light or something, and I just went ahead and with it and got some more from it put in there, so it flashes at me all the time. But if y'all want to know a little bit about me, I've been printing for about 5 years now. I got 2 kids, 2 wonderful kids. I got a son who's just turned 6, my daughter who's fixing to turn 2, which being a girl dad is fun. I don't plan to really put my family up on the internet on this unless it's like to show my son holding a model, which I won't be showing him, but just be him holding it up for me and going, wow, maybe. But that's about it. My family's going to be there doing things. My wife does lives on her end for selling. She sells jewelry and stuff, and I'll eventually promote her once I get a little bigger and help her out. But I'm just a normal guy. I work 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the at night. 8 to 5. I work banker's hours. I work hard, 40 hours a week. Just basically a normal guy. Doc, I did get your email. I will need some help with StreamYard. Getting everything working. Like you guys seem to have it like a fine-tooth machine, or sorry, finely oiled machine. Let's go ahead and go back to our section here with just the print. That way we can see both of it. Now let's see. Yep, it is using that brown. It does look a little light in the camera, that brown. But what you're seeing there is actually you're seeing the light shining through the plastic itself. It's when it's in a little thin state like that, it's a little opaque, kind of a thing. And yes, S2, that's exactly why. Just because some people, I won't name names, but they know who they are very petty. And they can't, keep YouTube to YouTube and they want to know, who are you? Cam up and show who you are. Oh, show your face. Why? So you can try to find out who I am and bring YouTube drama into the real world. No thanks. You have fun with that. Good luck. Go ahead and take your support onto another channel if you're going to be that way. But I just like to keep to myself, keep to my family, you all now because I like to be a part of this community. But other than that, it's just going to be more about having fun on my end. You know, we get enough drama in the week with the stuff that goes on, and we're gonna let Killa take over on updating us on drama and Boot to let us know when things are getting really bad, and then we just got to remember to tell G Swag sometimes to shut up. I'm just kidding, G Swag. You're amazing. I love you. Your support means the world to me. So let's see here. So start to finish, how long is this print? S2, that's going to be up about, let's see here. If I go back to our slicer program, it tells us it's going to be 38 minutes and 33 seconds total print time. But that's with the heating of the bed, the leveling, and everything like that. So it gives us a total model printing time of 32 minutes and 18 seconds. But the preparation time, the time it spent making sure that the bed was level, that the plastic was loaded, that was 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Agree, Charger. It is a little much to see them all together. That's this view is a little bit more tolerable because you don't have to see much of their details, but I'm confident it's going to turn out really fun nonetheless. Now this, you'll notice this really opaque section here. The printer, this slicer for this Bambu printer, they do come with inbuilt cameras. Sorry, built-in cameras, and they do stream from the printer. You can record it for time lapses. But if I do click this little button here to start it, it would slow down everything, and the video that it loads is not very smooth when it's playing from the printer because it's trying to play it, it's trying to record it, and it's also trying to manage the print at the same time. So the video quality is really low when it does that. So you guys are in the chat and interacting. It's good to have all you guys here today. I know I'm just a small guy getting started, but we'll build, we'll grow. All right, let's go back over here and see this a little bit more. Now you notice the cord on the side here, you'll see a lot of vibration. These printers move fast, and that little head going back and forth does generate a fair bit of movement in the shelf itself. So things do wobble around. That is a good question, Wallace. So Bambu does make other printers. An H2D may be worth the money if you're really into it. If maybe even if you're on a level like a little higher than I am, where you want that print head switching capability where it switches tool heads to save on waste, or if you wanted to have that ability to do the laser engraving. Excuse me there. But otherwise, if you're not really into 3D printing, you haven't owned a printer before, I would recommend one of Bambu's other printers, that A1 or the A1 Mini, because those still offer the support that Bambu does, the same slicers, the same reliability, but in a smaller package that's much cheaper. You don't have to worry about dedicating a lot of space to it like I did, and it does come with the switching capability, what we call AMS, but it's just a smaller system. It's what they call the AMS Lite, but it still provides pretty much the same functionality. The A1 provides the same size as my printer here, but without a little bit more of the bells and whistles that I have here. Automatic, basically cutting of the print on the print head right there. A little bit more oversight of the print itself, and then the enclosure. With you guys, I actually have the door open. You'll see I'm moving that door right there. This door, when you close it, creates a perfectly encased environment for your print. So you can control the airflow, the temperature around it. Because when you're printing with other materials, that needs to be monitored because it will cause the print to cool on the outside faster than the inside or faster than the bottom, which will then cause it to warp and just peel itself off the bed. And that, if that continues, it can a print can still finish with a corner peeled up. It'll just look a little weird. But if it ends up getting worse, it can actually pull the entire print off the bed. It can cause damage to the printer itself. And in certain cases, what we call the quote unquote blob of death, it'll actually collect material on that print head. It won't stop printing, and it'll keep depositing material. And in essence, it'll just burn itself out. It'll form a blob of plastic on that print head, and then it'll finish the print and cool itself down, and all of a sudden you're not able to use it anymore. You're wanting to print brackets for car parts like power steering, alternator? Yes, that would be possible, Walrus. You want to use like most likely an ASA glass fiber or carbon fiber filament that provides you that heat resistance, that strength, that so you could bolt it on and you wouldn't have to worry about it breaking loose. Of course, you want to use maybe some bushings on that, so that way you can account for the vibrations. Do I work on printers? Giggles, I work on my own printers all the time because they break down. Anybody who's a printerist or a 3D printerer, I guess, I don't know what we call ourselves. Throw some ideas on what we would call a person who uses 3D printers. Basically, when you're using a printer like this one here that you're seeing, I've had to take that little print head off. I've had to replace the extruder. I've had to unjam it. Basically, working on printers comes with the territory. You're gonna have a clog happen. You're gonna have like a filament that does like a print head failure. You're gonna have what we call thermal runaway, where one of your thermistors may go out and you won't be able to migrate your heat, or sorry, control the heat on those basic printers, and it goes out of control. Yes, the nozzle can get clogged. The older printers, the nozzle gets clogged, and I actually have a whole box of spare nozzles to change it to, because the older printers, the nozzles do wear out faster, and it depends on what you print with that causes those nozzles to wear out. You wouldn't think that melting plastic would be able to take metal away, but you print with certain materials are highly abrasive on the print head, and they'll actually cause it to change its diameter to what I use is a 0.04 diameter nozzle, or sorry, 0.4. It's like 0.04 millimeters like thick. It's like the size of a human hair. That can get clogged quite easily. And if I were to run, say, filament with wood or carbon fiber, or maybe even glow in the dark filament, which is highly abrasive on the printers, it'll actually eat away the metal and cause that nozzle to widen and no longer be as accurate. The whole settings of the printer will fall out of whack and just go crazy. You'll have to change the nozzle. It's crazy. Yep. Print MD. I'm not House MD. I watch House. I loved House. He was great. But I do like to diagnose print troubles. I do frequent a few Reddit communities that do handle 3D printing and troubleshooting for people, where you'll post a problem and people say, oh, well, you tried leveling your bed. Did you try adjusting your temperature? Oh, did you try drying your filament? People in the other parts of the country, I know you guys live in other parts here, you could probably attest that there is such a thing as humidity elsewhere. Me in Arizona, I don't have to put up with much of it most of the year. So 3D printing in Arizona is pretty easy, as long as you don't dunk your filament in water. But Giggles, yeah, want to get in touch with me somewhere, we'll work somehow and get in touch, and maybe you can send me pictures, and like I can help diagnose that problem for you. I love helping out printing. It's great once you can get creating and make your own things. I'm gonna go over more of it with Doc tomorrow. I have to run home, make sure I get home in time to join him. But the applications of 3D printing are anywhere from toys, automotive applications. Right now, the newer material, there's printing soap. There's a type of the company that has managed to put soap into the filament, basically making a soap filament that you can print your own soap. It doesn't lather, like the lathering doesn't occur, but it completes the soap job of breaking up the molecules of the dirt and that kind of thing. But there's more types of printing come on. There is metal printing for industrial needs. They do that for certain car parts, certain custom parts. They can't print in aluminum. They can print in a different kinds of metals. Um, but that's for like fabricators and stuff, the people who work on that kind of a system. But that's above my knowledge. But I do know that Disney does have like a liquid silicone printer where they can print liquid silicone in a gel medium and essentially print without supports. They can print medical applications. They can actually print like fake or like tubing for IVs and stuff in certain situations. Let's see, we're coming up at about 30 minutes roundabout here. It looks like we're running pretty good with Killa. I'm not going to come up too far from him. Let's see, let's go ahead and go back to our status window here. StreamYard's pretty easy to use once you get going. I'm still going to ask Doc for tips because they make it look easy. Okay. So looks like we got about 12 minutes left here because I did talk for a bit before I started. Oh, Billy, later, man. I know hard's working, so do your thing, man. If you get the insomnia bug, you'll come join us later. You're always welcome with it whenever we go. All right. You may notice I have a silly laugh too, but I don't laugh silly like some people. You guys won't hear my customer service voice because I reserve that for work. I do talk on the phone for a living. I'm not going to try to puff myself up right now. I don't work construction right now, but I do work customer service. So. Good night, Billy. Good night. Right. Coming up here, we're well past the halfway mark of the point where any failures would be. I'm going to spin around here in my chair and take a quick look. So if you don't hear me, if you hear squeaking from the chair, just forgive me, y'all. I'm new to this. I'm new. We are looking good. Actually. Okay. I just had to watch it really closely for a second to make sure. For a second, and my eyes thought it was not laying down like I had a clog or something, but it looks like it's okay. I just had to make sure here. Yeah, it's okay. Sometimes it'll get clogged where the machine doesn't know that it's clogged. It's still trying to push filament in, and it's not triggering any kind of like flag in the system. The system will detect when it has like an extruder motor. The extruder motor gets overloaded. It'll send up a little warning to me here in the slicer. It'll say print stop because of extruder overload, or filament may be stuck or broken in the tube, and please check. But it'll also let me resume it if I need to. So I can stop, I can pause it, I can do what I need to adjust on the fly. Yes, I've made my son. He likes something called Dummy 13. You can actually buy them off of Amazon and Temu, and it's an open source free model that a creator named, I believe I'm saying it right, Sousaphone. He designed this little action figure that if you print it in the good materials, I use a heavier material for the joints, that it's a bona fide action figure. You can pose it, you can play with it. I've printed myself. There's so many, let's see, what's the word for it? Accessories and weapons that have been made for it. I've designed my own a few. Most of them were based off of the show Stargate SG-1. I'm a giant nerd for Stargate. If you know it, shout it out. Woohoo, Stargate! They're coming back too. But it's basically an action figure that the nefarious Chinese people have taken to selling on YouTube and Temu and Shein and Alibaba, that kind of thing. Wish, but I've made my son about a dozen of them, and he likes to take the arms off and make weird monsters and have them climb everywhere. And yeah, he likes the toys, and made a few like stacking block things for him. So yes, it does look a little like a crash test dummy. It's got no face. It's kind of you know, androgynous. I don't know if that's the word. Sorry, my vocabulary is failing me. It's just it's not gender specific. Well, it is. There is a male and a female model, but just looking at it, it's non-distinct. It's not, you know, definitive of any person. You can get accessories where you can put a beard on it, put a hat on it. You can give it the sword from Final Fantasy VII, or you can get, you know, like the gun from Halo or the gun from Doom, or you can make it look like a character from an anime or from a TV show or from a movie. There's Daredevil, you know, Iron Man, stuff like that. Yeah, you might have seen it, Walrus. They're awesome. I actually have a couple Warhammer guys that sit on my desk. You know, even me, a 40-year-old guy, I still like to print nonsense and fun things. I'm always still a kid at heart. Right, time for me to turn around and do the print check. Looking good. Looking good, y'all. Now I can adjust the camera angle here to look at the back prints, but that's going to be what we call it, the disappointed contractor and the Area 51 refugee. That's going to be them too. So when I orient it like this is the way it looks here. This is the front. That's the back of the print. My son is in Pokemon. Yes. So my work, where I work, they are doing a Pokemon promotion to, you know, make people perform better. Um, and I print these little Eevee models that I leave all over the building for people to find, and in corners by a window, on top of a computer, you know, on a little card reader, so people find them. And they have the management has gone crazy and hung Pokemon cards around the ceiling. It's fun. They just make it fun for us. I have done a little CAD design, but mostly I get my files free and I slice them actually in the actual. I design them and slice them in the slicer. So in here, if I were to go over here, I can just say I can add a part. I can add a cylinder. There we go. It's a cylinder. Now, what I can do with this is I can take this, I can manipulate its size. I can make it bigger, smaller. I can make it uniform. I can make it shorter, fatter, more oblong. I can make it taller, short, you know, that kind of a thing. Thinner. You could print it as super thin as a millimeter if you wanted to. But I can also do that. And I can go, okay, now I want to add another part. I want to add a cube onto it. So I can take that cube, I can position it, and when it prints, it's going to print it like that. It's going to print the cube and model inside. I can actually design things like it by using a combination of shapes. So I can take it and design something like a gun, or like, sorry, I didn't mean to say the G word on YouTube. I can design something like a pew pew for an action figure to utilize. I can design a hat or something like that. But what you can also do is you can do adding a negative part. Negative parts are basically, it's a hole. So when I slice it, say I want to slice this, I want to print this. Let's slice it. Let's see what it looks like. It's actually going to print it with a hole right there because it has a negative part. So that's how you would create negative space, keychain rings, nail holes to hang up pictures. Because I do things like HueForge. HueForge is basically like a picture out of layers of color. Start out with black, lay down white, lay down blue, lay down red, and you got a picture. You got an anime picture. You got anything you could think of. In fact, my desk at work is covered with them. I do plan on streaming one maybe overnight. I'll start a late night stream, or I'll record a video where I can put a stream up for it. But all right, let's go back here. I can just get rid of this because I do want to save this project. There we go. Sorry about the clicky clack there. All right, we should be coming up to the home stretch now. Let's go back here. Nice. Perfect. Yep. We are at the home stretch. We are layer 141 of 180. We got 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left now. All right. Running nice and smooth so far. I'm glad to have at least, it looks like we had 8 or 9 of you at once. That was awesome. Thanks for your support, guys. I'll get better at connecting with other creators. I'm going to jump on other panels if they'll have me, so I can even talk or BS with them and, you know, share more of myself out here. Maybe design some things and send them to some other creators, and you can see them too. We'll see what we can do. We want to make things fun. Let's see here. We're coming up to it. Once it gets to this point, it's actually printing. When it gets to the top of the model, it's printing less and less each time with these because they taper towards the top. So it's gonna get. You'll notice it's going layers going a little faster, and we got less than 4 minutes left. We're gonna finish up really nice. Looks like I might overrun with Killa just a minute or two, but we'll try to finish up for him because I like to join him and relax. Here we go. Let's go ahead and bring this up here. All right. You hear a little bit of yelling. That's my loved ones in the background. I'm a family man. I live at home. I work at home. I don't work at home, but I live at home, and you might hear them from time to time because kids are going to be kids, y'all. And my wife is out there watching them, and super nice. There's my daughter. She's crazy, y'all. All right, we're coming up. I appreciate you sticking around for the next minute or two just for the end. We're almost done. It's not that the world needs 3 more pieces of poo like these 3, the inspiration. But we're having fun anyway, y'all. We're having fun. We're keeping it light. Got some nice weekend coming up. I don't know about y'all, but it's been a little warmer in Arizona. I'm looking forward to relaxing on the weekend and printing some nonsense and just kicking back, you know. It's exciting. It's always exciting when a print gets close to finishing and seeing it come off the bed. I will try to do the pop right there so you guys can hear the little pop when it pops off. I might not be able to do that. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Oh, wait. Let's see. So the LiDAR camera is, I don't have it on the P1S. Oh, LiDAR camera feature on new phone. So my phone is a cheap phone. Professor Chaos is poor, y'all. If you didn't, I have a nice printer, but Professor Chaos is poor. So my phone is not like a whatever, Ultra Samsung, i775 or whatever. I use a prepaid phone. Like, yeah, I have to right now until I get a better job. The struggle is real, y'all. The struggle is real. Yep. Killing grown men in video games. I once played Fortnite a time or two, and I have had my butt whipped by kids younger than me, and it made me realize, I don't got those fast twitch reflexes anymore. I can still technically play the game. I never put on a microphone. I'm sitting there with a controller laughing while my wife is like, "Oh, that was funny." Yeah, it was. Oh, it wasn't. Yeah. All right, here we go. Oh, looks like Killa pushed it back a little bit. I wonder what's going on. Maybe something exciting. That's okay. It gives us time to finish up. Now I am going to design more prints for these guys, y'all. I plan to do maybe a few more poos. We might do some famous poos. Maybe do an Elon poo. Maybe some Stalin or Lenin poos. Maybe some dictator poos. But otherwise, Killa maybe looking around. If Killa's lurking, I appreciate you giving me an extra minute or two. But look, there we go. So the print now, what it's doing here is it's actually cutting the filament that's in there now, and it's going to retract the little bit that's still good. So that way I save filament. And I can hear it going now. So when it's actually finished, it's going to lower that print bed. And I'm going to see here on the slicer, it'll actually change to complete. So we're still at 99%. Still at 99. Okay, here it goes. There we go. It's just going to present us our print. I'm going to put my headset down here so I won't hear myself, but I'm going to go ahead and pop that off and show it off to the camera. Out. All right, so we actually had some interesting results. We had one complete success, which you'll see is the alien here. I'll put it back up. You'll see the alien did complete. She's nice and clean, y'all. The bottom stuck on, but it looks like we had some layer adhesion problems in the very beginning because or maybe they're just such a big POSs that even their models failed. But we do have the contractor, the disappointed contractor. The butt of his poo came off because looks like even a model for him, he's too full of crap to even stand. Okay. All right, then we got the disappointed subversive, who it looks like he's also so full of it, he's even his own model can't hold it. But if we leave it like that, it's still pretty decent, you know? It looks pretty good. Let me clean the supports off of this contractor man here. Clean the supports off of him. Get the little hairy little stringies off. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and take a little look at the contractor. Disappointed contractor. The detail did come out really nice on it. It just didn't stick. Its base didn't want to stick to the model. All right. This brown has a little bit of shine to it. I don't have much of this brown PLA left, so I might end up getting some new stuff. But all right, sorry about that, Doc. I switched to the StreamYard one, so that way I could actually control it a little more. I'm a wholly new at this, so you'll have to forgive my ignorance, my friend. All right. But you'll see I got some residuals there. I'm just going to clean off the bed real quick and I'll replace it, and then we'll wrap things up for tonight. Supports can sometimes stick. And now I need to wash it. This is 99% isopropyl alcohol. That allows me to get all of my finger oils off of the build plate. Alrighty, guys. That was the first stream and print where I talk and BS, you know. Otherwise, we'll have some more ideas next time, and maybe next time those models won't fail, or they didn't technically fail, like half fail, I guess you call that. They just couldn't hold their pants on. Like when they're together, they probably can't hold their pants on. So, all right, guys. Well, it looks like we got everything going here. Yep, like Mr. Phil does say, cleanup is important. You'll notice I did touch the build plate. You'll have to forgive me. Those in the 3D printing world, forgive me. I'm not supposed to touch the build plate, but I did have to get those supports off. I'm going to clean it again later with some dish soap just to make sure it's completely clean and has no oils. But otherwise, I'm glad you guys joined me today. Yeah, Doc, I'll get better at planning these in the future so that way I won't have a random live sitting there. But thank you all for joining me. Look forward to more in the future and maybe some music and everything like that. I'm going to end it now, and I'm going to go lurk in the other chats, and maybe someone else will let me join them today. Bye for now, guys. Take care. It's a pleasure having me. Bye-bye.